Hello everyone. Now today we are going to see the course overview. So here we'll see what are we going to cover in this whole course, right? So let's start. So the first thing that we are going to do is just hold on a second. Yes. So let's see the course topics which we are going to cover in this masterclass. So we'll basically cover four things. The first thing is the mindset, because success depends entirely, I would say, on the mind. Even the second and the third steps that we are going to see, that is skills and strategies, ultimately have to be developed with the use of mind only, right? So mind is the first and the most important thing, and the last thing you can say. So we'll talk about mind a lot, and we'll do a lot of exercises and activities to train our minds, okay, and set a success mindset, develop a success mindset. Second, we'll do skills and strategies. So you will see a lot of skills which are required to explore the opportunities out there in the market. So what are the opportunities? How to encash those opportunities? How to evaluate those opportunities? The value of the opportunity as well as the cost of the opportunity, and then how to go about exploiting those opportunities. So that requires certain skills which we are going to learn, and then we'll make certain strategies, growth strategies, and lastly we'll talk about personal branding, because ultimately you have to go and sell yourself to the world. So unless you know how to sell yourself, unless you know how to convince people, unless you know how to brand yourself, to position yourself for the kind of people you want to interact and do business with, you will not be able to get anything. So that is the last topic that we'll be discussing. So in all, four topics. One is the mindset, second is the skills, third is the strategies, and fourth, personal branding. So let's talk about these in a little bit detail. So in growth mindset, what we are going to do, so the first thing we'll see is the behavior and learning, how we behave, the actions that we take, the cognition that we have, the kind of images that we frame in our mind, how that happens. Okay, so this is the first topic, and which is very important because till now, whatever age we are, we have learned a lot of things in life, all throughout our schooling days and the college days, and then the work experience has taught us a lot of things, but we really don't know in a detailed way as to how learning happens and what are the ways which we can employ to learn quickly and in detail. Okay, so that we are going to learn in the first phase, the behavior and the learning aspects, how we learn things. Then we'll go deeper into conscious and subconscious mind, how it works, what do you do with your conscious mind, what do you do with your subconscious mind, and how they interact with each other. Then we'll talk about the five senses that we have, and we'll master these senses, because all the information which mind needs comes through these five senses. So unless you know how to work with them, unless you have mastered them, you are actually not getting a lot of information. Hence your decisions are not solid, the decisions are not valid most of the time, and you fail because your senses were weak. You're not able to see, you're not able to observe things as you should have. So it's very important to master the five senses. Then we'll talk about feelings and emotions and how to control them. That's very important. Today what happens is that our feelings and emotions control us, and they deviate us from the points, from the main topics. So that shouldn't happen. We should be able to focus on the right things, and therefore we need to control our feelings and emotions. So we'll first understand what these feelings and emotions are, how they come, where they come from, and then if they are not good for us, how to overcome them. Okay, then we'll talk about fears. The most detrimental thing ever for any person is fear. When you fear things, you are bound to make mistakes, you are bound never to succeed, you are bound to fail. Okay, so we'll remove fears, to the extent possible. So fears are also of two types, the good fears and the bad fears. So good fears actually are there to protect you, like fear of heights. If you don't have fear of heights, then you will jump off the cliff like Spider-Man. But you cannot do that. You don't have that web technology with you, right, to save you. So you'll fall and you'll die. So fear is good also, but some kind of fears that our mind has made over time or has learned is not good for us. They are illusory fears, they are not real fears. They are not there to protect us, but they are detrimental to us. So we'll learn about those fears and we'll try to remove those fears. Okay. Then stress and worry. A lot of people get stressed out, with work, and stressed out with interaction with people, and there are a lot of stress and a lot of worries and a lot of anxieties that are built over time. So we'll try to question them, we'll try to remove them, okay, so that you have a happy life, a contentful and blissful life. Then we'll talk about comfort zones. Now when I talk about happiness does one thing, one bad thing, and that is it builds comfort zones. When you have achieved something, you feel relaxed, you feel complacent. And when you go into that relaxed zone or the complacency, then what happens is that your growth gets restricted. So we'll see that also. We'll answer that topic as well. How to get out of your comfort zones which are bad for you. Not the comfort zones which are good, but which are bad. Then we'll talk about positive thinking, how to develop positive attitude, positive thoughts, law of attraction, how it works. Okay, so you must have heard about this a lot, law of attraction, and there was a movie as well on that. But we'll actually see how it works and how you can use it for your benefit, how you can attract success, basically. Okay, you can attract money, you can attract a lot of things in life. Then we'll talk about creativity, how important it is to be creative and how to build creativity so that you can get ideas, and you can get into a lot of new things in life. Then we'll talk about habits. And when we talk about habits, there are two things to it. One is the good habits and the bad habits. So how to develop good habits and how to, curtail the bad ones. So all these topics we are going to discuss in the mindset part, the first part of our training, which will be the major part. And once the mind is ready, to act, when the mind is ready to think properly, to act properly, and to evaluate properly, and to take proper decisions, then the other things become very simple, like learning skills. So when we'll go to skills part, it will be very simple, to assimilate these skills, to learn these skills if your mind is ready for it. So what are the skills that we are going to learn? So we'll talk about intelligent quotient, the emotional quotient, and the practical intelligence, and how they affect us, how they affect our decision making. So here in the second part, we'll be basically looking at the opportunities out there. We'll be looking at the opportunities that are lying in the world. I'll give you a lot of examples of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and a lot of other players out there, and how they achieve success, what kind of opportunities they grasped, and when did they grasp. So we'll use a lot of techniques here, like the wave technique and other things, to understand how the opportunities operate in the world. So opportunity is not something which is, just lying there like a gold mine. It doesn't happen like that. So they come and they go. There's a timing to it. Okay. So these are very important things. There are timings to opportunities. Once you miss that time, the opportunity is gone. So you have to latch on to that opportunity at the right time, ride it till you can, and get out again at the right time so that you don't make losses. So all these things are very important to learn. So we'll learn them in this module. So we'll talk about firstly the intelligent quotient, emotional quotient means how you relate to that opportunity out there. Okay. So these intelligence and emotional quotients and the practical intelligence that we have actually help us, evaluate these opportunities, take these opportunities, and then catch them. So therefore we'll study that. We'll study personality traits, we'll study genetics. Like for example, I'll give you one case, like There's a person, Michael Phelps. You must have heard about him. Now, Michael Phelps is a great swimmer, and he has won 28 Olympic medals, And the main reason for his achieving such great heights is his height. He is 6 feet and 4 inches long, but there are many players who are 6 feet and 4 inches long. But he is special because his torso, that is from his waist up to his head, that length is bigger than other players out there. And his legs are short, his upper body, the torso, is long, and that gives him an unfair advantage over all the other swimmers. So his hands are having a lengthier than other players, so that makes him much stronger. So in one arm he can swim a long distance. So with less efforts he can swim longer and faster. So that gives him a great advantage, and that is because of his body type. So that is the genetics. So what kind of genetics have you got? We have to study that. You have to study that. And what are my genetics? What are my personality traits? Personality traits are something which we are born with. There are certain traits. Like for example, one of my trait is experimenting. I love experimenting. I love exploring things. I'm an adventurer at heart. So I do a lot of adventure stuff, the physical stuff as well. I've done bungee jumping and all kinds of crazy things, as well as mentally. So I jump at ideas, I evaluate them, and I can see things which others can't. That is an inbuilt quality. I cannot do anything about it. So that's my unfair advantage. So you have to find your unfair advantage as well. Because when you find that, the competition is avoided. You can beat the competition very easily. Okay, so these are all the skills that we learn, and this is the skill and the strategy goes hand in hand. So these are strategies and skills both. So you can build the skills and build a strategy around it, which will give you basically an unfair advantage. That's the end game. If you have an unfair advantage against your competition, you can beat it and you can rise and you get success. Okay, so success is all about beating your competition. So that's our strategy that we are going to build. So we'll study genetics and personality traits, and then find your genetics and your personality trait. Okay, then we'll see the dynamic forces which are changing the world continuously, like what's happening today. The crypto is down, the share markets are down, the agriculture sector is rising, the EVs, electric vehicles, are having a great future, the technology is changing, battery companies are going to rise in the future. There's a huge demand for solar power cells and so on and so forth. So we'll study these dynamic changing things in the world. In computers, if we talk about, then in software, then artificial intelligence is growing like anything, and blockchain technology is growing. Though crypto is down, but blockchain is growing. And there are so many things which keep changing. The dynamics keep changing, and therefore you must be aware of all these dynamics in whatever field you are. So suppose you are a chartered accountant, you must know what is changing in your field and in other fields that you can enter at any point of time. So don't ever be bound by your education or your degree, that I've done this so I have to do this. No, you can learn new techniques, you can learn new skills, and that's what we are going to talk about. You have to be always learning new skills. So you can upskill yourself, you can upgrade yourself, you can learn new technologies, you can learn new things and get into that wave of opportunity. So if you see an opportunity, you have to make yourself ready for that opportunity. Or if you are ready for something, an opportunity comes in your lap, you have to encash it. So it works both ways. Okay, so opportunity can come in your field. If not, you find the opportunities in other field, upgrade yourself, upskill yourself, strategize and hit. So all these things are going to be fantastic. And the future opportunities, as I said, artificial intelligence is there, and there are so many other things which are going to come in the future. So we'll identify those opportunities. Then we'll make an opportunity matrix, which is very interesting thing. We'll make a whole set. Okay, like we had, we'll also be making a goal matrix. So we'll be making an opportunity matrix as well. Then there is SWOT analysis, the old technique. And apart from what I have written here, I'll be also discussing a lot of other things like blue ocean theory and other management theories and leadership skills. Then we'll talk about something very important, that is personal finance. So if you are CA, then this is simple for you, but still we'll do it. Okay. So that's important because, personal finance is important because you have to have a clear-cut idea of how you are going to run your finances. What kind of income you're earning, what kind of wealth you want to create in the future, what kind of retirement benefits that you want to create for yourself, and so on and so forth. This is very important because unless you do that and you jump from here and there, from here to there, then you may take unnecessary risks and jeopardize your success. So therefore, your personal finance and your personal finance goals leading up to the stage of financial independence. So we'll map it completely. Then we'll do risk analysis, so risk profiling. So finance and risk go hand in hand. Okay, so what kind of risks you have in your life, okay, and how to mitigate those risks. Then we'll see what is good for you, job, vocation, or profession or business, what you should pursue, what you are made for, basically. Like, I'm not made for a job. I'm not a job material, so I can do anything which is independent, but not a job, certainly. So I am a person who can pursue a profession or a business, but not a job. So what is your personality trait and what you are good at? So we'll evaluate that. Then we'll see opportunity, value and cost, as I told you earlier as well. Then whether to go to full-time or remote or freelancing work, what kind of work you should opt for, what are the advantages and disadvantages of all these, we'll discuss. And at the last, we'll discuss a few things which will be clubbed together as balancing act. Okay, so when I talk about success, I don't mean that you work 24/7. Okay, I don't mean that you should focus only on work and jeopardize your other parts of your life, like family life and other things. So you don't have to sacrifice anything. So there is a balancing to be done, right? So we'll see work-life balance. Then we'll see growth or limit balance. Like, if I want to pursue growth, then I have to place a limit also. Okay, so what is that limit, where you should put that limit, we'll discuss that. And we'll also discuss the money part and the satisfaction. So if you go after money, then it's unending. The game is unending because money never ends. So you can be a billionaire and then you will try to become a trillionaire and then so on and so forth. So the greed never ends. Okay, so we'll see how to balance that. What is the satisfaction level for you? And this satisfaction level will be different for different people. For me, it can be different. For you, it can be different. For someone else, it can be different. So you have to identify your limits. Don't follow my limits and don't follow any other person's limits. You have to identify your own limits and then play the game accordingly so that you have a balance in life. And then we'll discuss a few strategies. So after skills, then comes the strategy. So there's explore, exploit, and rule strategy. I'll not go into detail right now. We'll discuss in detail as the time comes. Then networking, how networking is important. Like LinkedIn is one network, and I believe that you all guys are there on LinkedIn. If not, then please open an account. So there are a lot of networks. Even Facebook is a network. Even Instagram is a network. LinkedIn is also a network, and there are Reddit and many other networks are there. So which networks you should go into, how you can take advantage of those networks, how to build yourself on those networks, and how to build the network itself. So we'll see all those techniques. How to develop niche skills, approach target companies, how to approach your target companies for finding a job or finding a business deal for that matter. Then education and upskilling. What should be your strategy for education? Yes. You'll say, is education a strategy? I say, yes, education is a strategy. Like today you might be a chartered accountant, today you might be an engineer, today you might be a doctor or whatever you are. But the point is that what are the opportunities out there in the market for the next 10, 20, 30 years? That's your career lifespan. And within this time, if you want to, encash those opportunities, go after them, then what kind of education you should have? So after 12th, what you guys did and what even I did was we chose a education rather than choosing a career. And normally this mistake is done by all the students out there. We choose education, we don't choose careers. And so when we do an education, then we find a career which suits our education. So it's the whole reverse process that we do. The actual process should be that you find a career and then you choose an education which serves that career. But we have not done in the past. So at least let's do it for the future. Okay. So we'll see that how to choose a career, and then the line or what activity you want to do, and then build an education around it, build skills around it. And then when to switch jobs. How switching jobs is a strategy, I'll tell you, with all the calculations, and it is an amazing, a mind-blowing strategy. Okay, so we'll see that. Then we'll also see few things like starting a side hustle. If you are already in a job, should you do something else? Should you do something extra? And if yes, how and what? So we'll study that also. You can become influencer, and there are so many internet-based opportunities which come up, like being an influencer, like being an educationist, like what I'm doing today. I'm recording this masterclass, and I'll be giving this masterclass to thousands of people out there. Okay, so people can come, they can take the masterclass, and I learn money out of it. So this is a side hustle for me. My main business is my startup, and I'm doing it for fun. I'm doing it for transferring my knowledge to other people. I'm doing it to interact with people like you guys, to learn from you guys, and it's a mutual benefit, and I learn also from that in the long run. So why can't you do it? So how to start a side hustle? We'll see that. Then how to evaluate your performance. So we do a lot of things, but most of the time we don't evaluate our performance, and then what happens is that over time we go into losses. So how to keep evaluating? What should be the metrics for evaluation of your performance? Like, what am I doing and what am I getting back? Say even for a job, if I'm doing a job for a company, what kind of efforts I'm putting, what kind of knowledge I'm giving to the company, and what am I getting in the return? Is it matching each other? If not, you may try to switch jobs, or you can go for consulting, and you learn much more than that because you have great knowledge. Okay, so we'll see that, how to evaluate your performance. Then defining a career growth path for yourself, making your whole career journey, and then seeing that you stay online, stay on track.
Disconnected.
And drafting of resume and CV. We'll see this also, how to draft your resumes and how to draft your CVs. And mastering interview skills. These are some old topics which even otherwise are available on the net. And at the last, we'll talk about personal branding. This is, as I said earlier, very important, because even if you are gold or a diamond within, but if people don't know, then they don't value it. So your value is created when people know your skills, when people understand you from inside, that what you can do for them. Okay, so this is a very important and very crucial element which we all miss. So even if we are engineers, we are totally technical. If we are computer programmers, and so we focus on our technical line. If we are CAs, we focus on our finance knowledge, but we seldom focus on branding, and therefore what happens is that we lose a lot of opportunities in life. So this is one thing we are going to focus, and that is a new thing for you, personal branding. So we'll do a lot of things here, like authority amplifiers, how you can improve your authority, what you can do to amplify your authority, then positioning yourself in the industry, branding, the concept of branding, the concept of brand voice that you have to evaluate or create, then the credibility, how you build credibility in the market, and how you become a thought leader, basically. Okay, So all those things we are going to do. So that was about the course. Now the mode of learning, how we are going to learn, is of course through live lectures and on-demand videos. So these videos will be available to you whenever you want to watch them later on. Activities and quizzes, live interactive webinars will be held from time to time. So this course is valid for 1 year for you guys, okay? And during this 1 year you can come back and watch these videos time and again, or you can join my live sessions whenever they are. So I'll announce and you will get a mail, and when you receive that mail, do join those webinars, because there will be something new apart from these recorded lectures, okay? Then you have my gold membership to my global network, 1 year access to that as well, and exclusive videos and learning material which I'll be sharing with you guys from time to time. And of course it is valid for 1 year. And lastly, what's needed from you guys, okay, in order to succeed. So it's I'm not serving you a dish in a restaurant, right, that you have come and you have paid me, so I'll now serve a dish and you will eat it and become successful. It's not like that. So I'll be teaching you techniques, I'll be teaching you skills, I'll be giving you inputs, okay? Success is achieved not by learning, success is achieved by doing. So you have to do it. The more you will do it, and the better habits you will make of doing things, the more success you will receive in life, okay? So techniques will be the same. The difference will be how much you act on them, how much you do, okay? So doing is very important, and therefore you must have the desire to excel in the first place. So all these things are needed from you guys. Desire to excel. You want to excel in life, you want the best things in life, okay? Dedication to improve. Unless we improve, we'll get the same. Somebody has said, if you continue to do the same things, you will get the same results. You will continue to get the same things. If you do the same things, you will get the same things, okay? So you have to improve. And improvement doesn't mean just the quantity of it. Like yesterday I studied for 3 hours, so today I'll study for 6 hours as a student. Or yesterday I worked for 10 hours, so today I'll work for 12 hours and I'll achieve more success. No, that doesn't happen. It is about the quality. It is about the right things, doing the right things, not doing too much, doing the right things. So that is what we are going to discuss in the first 3 or 4 modules that I talked about. How to identify the right things to do, okay? But you should be ready to do it, ready to improve. Disciplined to stay consistent, because consistency is the key to success. Consistency builds habits, and habits build success. It's very simple mathematical logic. So you should be disciplined. Then build trust. Trust on yourself, number 1, and trust on others. In fact, trust on others come only if you trust yourself, okay? And I do say this also, that actually you don't trust anyone in your life. Just think about it. We don't trust anyone else in life. We only trust our judgment of them. Think about it. This is so true. I don't trust you, but when it happens that I am trusting you, it is that I am trusting my own judgment of you. I have now judged that you are a good person, so I build trust. So I am trusting my judgments. I am never trusting you. Remember. So a student never trusts his professor. A student trusts his judgment of that professor, or his perception of that professor. So this is a very important point. Okay, so you have to build trust. Take ownership of your life and actions. Ultimately, whatever decisions you take, you have to take responsibility of it. You have to take ownership that it's my decision. So whatever is the outcome, I am responsible for it. If it's good, it belongs to me. If it's bad, it belongs to me. I have to accept it, learn from it, and change. Change myself so that next time I get a different result. Okay, so you take ownership. Stop complaining from this day onwards. After you end this lecture in next 3 minutes, you will never complain of anything. That's about taking ownership. Stop complaining. Okay, don't blame others. take the whole blame on yourself. And lastly, readiness to change. Okay, so these are the simple requirements from you guys. So if you can give me all these things in abundance, then you will get success in abundance. That is my guarantee. So thank you guys. So this was about the course that we are going to do, and from the next session we are going to start our main course. See you guys.